warm welcome to TV Africa News and thank you for always joining us. This is Africa Today. My name is Najima Luima, but first are the headlines. Court upholds Senyonyi's win as Nakawa West MP. United Kingdom issues Uganda terror alert. Kenyan police launches a search for husband of murdered athlete. And in sports, Sekafa confirms date for Under-20 Women's Championship in Uganda. A warm welcome once again. Now the news in detail. The High Court Civil Division, Kampala, has thrown out with costs an election petition filed by a businessman, Mukesh Shumok Baboy, against Nakawa West Member of Parliament, Honorable Joel Senyonyi. We have more on this report. In his ruling delivered on Thursday afternoon, Justice Isaac Muata noted that Shukla Mukesh failed to prove to the satisfaction of the court that there were irregularities in the election of Senyonyi that could have tilted the election in his favor. In his petition filed in March this year, Mukesh claimed that Senyonyi, with support from the Electoral Commission, committed a number of electoral offences and irregularities, which included ballot stuffing and failure to sign the declaration of result forms, among others. Mukesh also accused Senyonyi of stuffing ballots at 8 of the 153 polling stations and changing results at one of the polling stations where he got 81 instead of 58 votes. However, in his ruling, Justice Muata said that even if Mukesh had proved any of the grounds, which he didn't, such irregularities wouldn't have affected the election in a substantial manner. Muata concluded that even if Mukesh had won at all the 8 contested polling stations, he would still not change his fortunes from being the 6th to become the winner. Mukesh scored 806 votes against Senyonyi's 30,847 votes. Speaking shortly after the ruling, Senyonyi said he was not surprised by the decision of the court because from the start it was obvious that Mukesh had a very poor case. For his part, Mukesh said he would appeal the court decision. The United Kingdom has warned that terrorists could carry out an attack in Uganda, but police have said there is no need to elevate the threat levels.
In a statement released yesterday, the UK government called on their nationals to be extremely vigilant about their security, especially in crowded and public places like hotels, transport hubs, restaurants and bars, and during major gatherings like sporting or religious events. Police spokesman Fred Enanga yesterday confirmed that there are sleeper cells already in the country, adding that efforts to dismantle them are ongoing. Although the UK did not mention which terrorist group is behind the threat, Uganda security agencies recently accused the Allied Democratic Forces rebels of attempting to carry out terror attacks. Last week, security agents shot dead a suspected ADF rebel Hamid Nsubga, 25, alias Young Midu, in Kampala. He was allegedly planning to assassinate a local politician. Police said the deceased and another, currently under detention, first attempted to bomb mourners at the burial of the former Deputy Inspector General of Police, Lieutenant General Paul Lokech, in Pada district in August. It should be remembered that on July 11, 2010, Al-Shabaab terrorists set off 2 bombs at Chadondo Rugby Club and the Ethiopia Village restaurant in Kabalagala, Kampala, killing at least 70 people and injuring dozens.
Police in Kenya is searching for the husband of record-breaking runner Agnes Tirop, stabbed to death in an incident that shocked her home country and the world of athletics.
The police named the athlete's husband, Emmanuel Rotich, as the prime suspect in the death of the 25-year-old Olympian. Agnes Tirop was killed just a month after smashing the women only 10 kilometers world record at an event in Germany. Josephat Keta, brother of slain athlete Agnes Tirop, said that when they got the news, it was really saddening because Agnes has been a good person since she was young and Agnes has never been in any conflict with anyone, so having been killed really surprised them. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta also paid tribute to the young athlete who would have turned 26 later this month. Kenyatta urged the police to track down those behind her death.
Let's take a very quick short break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, The Right to Know. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the fight against corruption is going from strength to strength. Appointed by President Felix Tshisekedi in July last year as Chief Inspector of Finance, Jules Alengete Key says that public finances are doing well. The Chief Inspector of Finance, Jules Alengete, said that there hasn't been a month in 2021 where they made less than $500 million US, adding that there are months where they made 900 million, 800 million, 700 million, and the minimum they made was 500 million. Jules Alengete said that whereas in 2020 they have never exceeded 400 million, he assured them that the public finances were doing well. Despite progresses, corruption remains a problem in the country. NGOs have denounced the handling of funds to fight the pandemic and provide humanitarian aid. Jules Key also promised to speak of zero corruption and zero embezzlement in the Congo, since the problem has reached a very high level that would be estimated to be as high as 90%. This, according to Jules, means that in a country where 90% of public expenditure is diverted and 10% is left for the collective interest, the strategy is to reverse the situation. According to Transparency International's 2020 Corruption Perception Index, the country ranks 170 out of 180 countries. South Africa's former President Jacob Zuma spoke to his supporters on Thursday for the first time since being released on parole in early September.
The former African National Congress leader was released on medical grounds after serving 2 months of a 15-month prison sentence for contempt of court. Jacob Zuma spoke via a video link as no one knows where the 79-year-old is serving parole. In his speech to supporters in Durban via a video link, the former President Jacob Zuma lambasted the courts and criticized the graft investigations against him. Zuma lamented that they are a state governed by those who know what it is like to be oppressed and denied fundamental human rights, wondering how the same state has imprisoned him for contempt of court without trial. He said that indeed something has gone terribly wrong in their country. South Africans head to the polls on November 1st to elect local councils across the country. Zuma's arrest in July sparked a wave of violence and unrest that resulted in at least 350 deaths.
Moving on, 5 mixed-race women born in Congo while under Belgian rule are taking the former colonial power to court. The women accused the Belgian state of crimes against humanity, claiming they were taken away from their black mothers and separated from their African roots. Jackie Gogebauer, one of the 5 mixed-race women, explained that the problem was that they were considered children of the state and it was not the mother who exercised the power, but rather it was the state that was allowed to exercise power and was free to do as they pleased. In 2019, the Belgian government issued an apology for the role played by the state in taking thousands of young children away from their African mothers. The apology was issued by the then Prime Minister Charles Michael apologizing on behalf of the Berrigan federal government to the mixed race of Berrigan, Colonial Oregon, and their families for the injustice and their suffering. The 5 women, all born between 1945 and 1950, filed their lawsuit last year amid growing demands that Berrigan reassesses its colonial past. Last year, for the first time in the country's history, the Berrigan king expressed regret for the violence exercised by the former colonial power. Let's once again take a very quick short break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, the right to know. In our business news today, the Conakry Express train, which connects the Guinean capital to its suburbs with thousands of people transported per day, resumed its rotations this week after 10 months of stop, according to media and the National Railway Company.
Thousands of people had boarded the train on Wednesday morning at this departure in suburban district in the direction of Kaloum, the administrative and business center of Conakry. Nabi Badra Sora, director of the National Railway Company of Guinea, which manages the infrastructure, told journalists that the train had resumed service since Monday. The director added that the link had been interrupted in January to allow the Russian group Russo to make up for a delay in the delivery of bauxite shipments. Russo, which mines and exports bauxite from Guinea, owns the railroad line used by the Conakry Express. This resumption of the train was made possible by the sagacity of Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya, president of the junta in power since September 5th, and the understanding of Russo. Launched in 2010, Conakry Express provides 2 services per day between Conakry and its suburbs and passes through a dozen stations over a distance of 36 kilometers for a ticket costing 4,000 Guinean francs. Its connections have been interrupted several times due to various breakdowns. Downtown Conakry, where thousands of people converge daily, is located on a peninsula that is subject to endemic traffic jams.
In our health news today, National Medical Stores has directed that no staff or visitors will be allowed at their premises if not fully vaccinated for COVID-19. According to a statement released by the National Medical Stores Principal Public Relations Officer, Sheila Nduhushile, in a bid to curb the spread of the COVID pandemic, they have mandated all staff and visitors to present proof of full vaccination before admission into their premises. The new directive, according to National Medical Stores, comes into effect immediately, and for visitors, it comes into effect on Monday, October 18th, 2021. Nduhushile said that management resolved that all individuals who are not fully vaccinated against COVID-19 should present a COVID-19 negative PCR test result taken not more than 72 hours. The Ugandan government has so far received 5,690,363 COVID-19 doses, of which 2,378,171 doses have been utilized countrywide. At least 2,080,594 are currently being distributed across the country. The Health Ministry earlier this week said the reason behind the small number of vaccinated people is the slow rate of access to vaccines. Dr. Wayengera Misach, the chairperson of the COVID Scientific Advisory Committee, said that the low percentage is partly because of the slow rate of access to the vaccines. our sports news today, Uganda will host this year's Sekafa Under-20 Women's Championship, and after several days of waiting, the Council of East and Central Africa Football Associations has confirmed the dates.
According to Sekafa Executive Director Auka Gesho, the championships will take place between 28th October and 10th November 2021. Auka Gesho was quoted saying that the Football Federation in Uganda confirmed that they are ready to host the event during these dates, and they are now waiting for further confirmation from the teams. The tournament has been hanging in balance given the COVID-19 situation in Uganda, and at one time seemed like it would be cancelled. Gesho further stressed that besides Somalia and Sudan, the rest of the other Sekafa members are expected to take part. Uganda, Ethiopia and Tanzania will see this as a timely opportunity to further tune for their respective upcoming Federation for International Football Associations Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers. The Uganda Under-20 Women's national team that eliminated Kenya 10-3 on aggregate will face South Africa in December.
That was the news. Thank you for always keeping it TV Africa. Please do stay tuned. More programming coming your way.